What if I told you that most falls don't happen because of bad luck? They happen because of something much simpler. The small muscles in your feet stopped firing properly. Your brain lost track of where your body is in space. Your ankles stiffened up over years of sitting. Your reflexes got just a little too slow to catch you in time. And none of it happened overnight. It crept up quietly, year by year, until one ordinary moment, a curb, a wet floor, a single misstep became something serious. Here's what nobody tells you. Falls are not just accidents. They are almost always the result of specific, trainable physical deficits. And the good news is that every single one of those deficits can be improved, not with expensive equipment, not with a gym membership, and not with exercises that look impressive but miss the point entirely. The 20 exercises I'm walking you through today were chosen for one reason. They target the exact systems that fail first when falls start happening. Balance, reaction speed, ankle mobility, eccentric muscle control, spatial awareness, the stuff that traditional fitness routines almost never touch. Some of these will surprise you. Number 5 looks almost too simple to matter, but it reveals something about your balance that a full gym workout will never uncover. And number 17 trains a skill that most people never think about until they actually need it, and by then, it's too late. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that now and ring the notification bell. We post every week with practical, science-backed content to help you stay strong, mobile, and independent for as long as possible. Let's get into it. Here are 20 simple exercises that prevent falls, ranked from surprising to genuinely life-changing. Number 1, toe lift wall raises. Stand with your back flat against a wall, feet about 6 inches away from the base. Now lift all 10 toes off the ground and hold for a moment. Lower them back down. That's it. Repeat this slowly, 15 to 20 times until you feel a mild burn along the front of your shins. This targets a muscle called the tibialis anterior, the long muscle that runs down the outside of your shin bone. Most people have never once intentionally trained this muscle in their lives, and yet it is one of the most critical muscles for safe walking. Its job is to lift your foot during each step so the toes clear the ground cleanly. When it weakens, something happens called foot slap. The foot falls forward without control, and the toes drag, even slightly. That slight drag is what catches on carpet edges, sidewalk cracks, and door thresholds. It's one of the most common mechanical causes of tripping that exists. Most fall prevention programs spend the majority of their time on calf strength and hip stability while ignoring the shin entirely. This simple wall raise corrects that. It takes 2 minutes, and all you need is a wall. Do it every morning before you start your day, and your feet will begin clearing the ground with a confidence they may not have had in years. Number 2, backward walking. Find a clear hallway or open space. Walk slowly backward for about 10 to 15 steps. Pause, then walk forward again. Repeat this for 2 to 3 minutes. Go slowly and deliberately, especially at first. Backward walking does something that forward walking simply cannot do. It forces your brain to map your environment without being able to see it directly. Every step requires your nervous system to calculate distance, surface texture, and spatial position using feedback from your joints and muscles alone, not your eyes. This is called proprioception, and it is one of the most trainable and most neglected aspects of balance. Backward walking also changes how your knee works. Walking forward tends to load the knee in a flexed, absorbing position. Walking backward loads it in extension, which activates different stabilizing muscles and trains the joint to resist collapse from a completely different direction. Many falls happen during backward movements, when someone steps back away from a counter or reaches behind themselves and loses their footing. Training this direction regularly makes those moments much safer. Start slow. Use a wall nearby if needed, but do this every day. Number 3, single leg balance with head turns. Stand near a wall or counter for safety. Lift one foot a few inches off the ground. Now, while balancing, slowly turn your head to the left, then to the right, then look up, then look down. Try to hold each position for a breath or two before moving. Do 30 seconds on each foot. Standard single leg balance exercises are useful, but they miss something important. In real life, you almost never lose your balance while your head is perfectly still and your eyes are fixed on a single point. You lose your balance while you're looking at something else, reaching for an item on a shelf, turning to respond to someone calling your name, looking down at your phone as you walk. Those head movements shift the signals your inner ear and eyes send to your brain. And if your balance system isn't trained to handle that shift, the wobble becomes a stumble. Adding head turns to single leg balance directly trains the vestibular system, the fluid-filled chambers in your inner ear that detect movement and orientation. This exercise teaches your brain to stay stable, even when the signals coming from your eyes and ears are changing rapidly. That is the real skill that prevents falls in the real world. Number 4, eyes closed standing. Stand with your feet together, arms at your sides. Close your eyes. Try to stay still for 10 to 20 seconds. Have a wall or chair within arm's reach. Notice how much you sway. This exercise is deceptively revealing. Most people don't realize how much of their balance is being silently maintained by their vision. When you take vision away, the body has to rely entirely on the sensory input from the muscles, joints, and inner ear. If those systems are weak or poorly coordinated, you'll sway significantly or need to open your eyes within just a few seconds. This matters in real life because there are countless situations where your vision isn't helping you balance the way you think it is. Dark hallways at night, looking up at the sky, reaching into a high cabinet with your head tilted back. If your balance depends entirely on visual input, those moments become genuinely dangerous. Practicing eyes closed standing regularly trains the non-visual balance systems to grow stronger. Your sway will decrease over weeks. That is a measurable, real improvement in how your body handles the world when sight isn't enough. Number 5, heel to toe line, walking. Imagine a straight line on the floor in front of you. Walk along it by placing the heel of your front foot directly against the toe of your back foot with each step. Keep your arms out to the sides. Walk 10 to 15 steps forward, turn around, and walk back. Do this slowly and deliberately. This is the exercise that looks almost too simple to matter, and yet exposes balance problems that surprise most people the first time they try it. Narrowing your base of support down to a single line removes the wide, comfortable stance that most of us use as a hidden crutch during daily walking. Suddenly, your balance system has to work in a completely different way, and any weakness in the stabilizing muscles of the ankles and hips becomes immediately obvious. The practical benefit is gait precision. When you walk normally, your feet don't land randomly. They follow a fairly narrow track. Practicing heel-to-toe walking trains your nervous system to place each foot with accuracy so that when the walking surface becomes challenging, whether it's uneven ground, a narrow path, or a crowded room, your feet land where you intend them to. Precision in foot placement is one of the key differences between people who stumble and people who don't. Number 6, quick step reaction drill. Have someone stand nearby. They call out a direction at random, left, right, forward, or back, and you step quickly in that direction the moment they say it. Rest, reset, and repeat. Do this for about 2 minutes. If you're alone, use a timer app that gives random audio cues, or simply vary the directions yourself at unexpected intervals. This drill trains something that strength exercises completely ignore: reaction time. When you start to lose your balance, your body has a very short window, fractions of a second, to respond with a corrective step before you go down. The difference between a near miss and a full fall often comes down to how quickly that corrective step can be generated and executed. Muscles that are strong but slow don't help you in that window. Muscles that are trained to move fast do. The quick step reaction drill specifically trains the neural pathway from the moment a balance disturbance is detected to the moment a compensatory step is taken. Over weeks of practice, that pathway becomes faster and more automatic. You stop thinking about stepping, you just step, and that automatic speed is exactly what keeps you upright when the ground surprises you. Number 7, wall lean, ankle drives. Stand facing a wall about 2 feet away, hands lightly touching it for support. Keeping your heel flat on the floor, slowly drive your knee forward toward the wall and let your ankle bend as far as it comfortably can. Hold for a second, then return. Do 15 reps on each side. Ankle mobility is one of the single most overlooked contributors to fall risk, and it is one of the first things to quietly deteriorate in people who spend a lot of time in shoes with raised heels or who sit for long periods. When the ankle can't dorsiflex, which means bend, so the toes move toward the shin, the entire movement pattern of walking and stair climbing is affected. The body compensates by shifting weight in ways that destabilize the knee and hip, and over time, those compensations create a gait that is mechanically vulnerable. This simple drill restores range of motion to the ankle joint itself and activates the surrounding muscles that stabilize it during movement. Many people are genuinely surprised by how restricted their ankle mobility has become. Within 2 to 3 weeks of daily practice, most people see a noticeable improvement in how freely their ankle moves, and that translates directly into safer, more stable walking. Number 8, deep squat. Hold onto a door frame, countertop, or TRX strap for support. Lower yourself into as deep a squat as your hips and ankles allow. Try to get your thighs below parallel if possible. Hold this position for 30 seconds to a minute, breathing slowly, letting gravity gently open the hips and ankles. Rise slowly and repeat 2 to 3 times. The deep squat is a fundamental human resting position that most Western adults have completely lost access to due to decades of chair-based living. When the hip joint loses its full range of motion, the consequences ripple outward through the entire lower body. Stiff hips force the knees and lower back to compensate. Gait becomes shorter and more shuffling. The ability to recover from unexpected stumbles decreases because the hip can't move quickly through the range needed to place a catching step. A supported deep squat hold does 2 things simultaneously. It gradually restores hip mobility and it restores ankle dorsiflexion, both of which are critical for safe movement. Use as much support as you need. The goal is not to do this unsupported immediately. The goal is to spend time in that deep range and let the joints slowly remember how to be there. Over weeks, You'll need less support and you'll be able to go deeper. Number 9. Lateral side steps with control. Stand with feet together. Step slowly to the right, placing the right foot down with control. Bring the left foot to meet it. Pause for a full second between each step. Take 10 steps to the right, then 10 steps to the left. Focus on placing each foot gently and deliberately rather than letting it drop. The majority of falls do not happen in a straightforward direction. They happen sideways. A slight stumble to one side, a misstep off a curb, a quick turn that the hip didn't follow fast enough. Sideways balance is controlled by a completely different set of muscles than forward and backward balance. Primarily, the hip abductors and the muscles along the outer thigh, and these are chronically undertrained in most people's daily movement. Slow, controlled lateral stepping directly trains these muscles and the neural coordination that goes with them. The key is the slowness and the deliberate foot placement. Moving quickly through a side step lets momentum do most of the work. Moving slowly forces the stabilizing muscles to hold every position, which is the actual training stimulus. Do this daily, and your sideways stability will improve within weeks. Number 10. Uneven surface. Standing, fold a thick towel 2 or 3 times and place it on the floor. Stand on it with both feet. Hold that position for 30 to 60 seconds. Try small movements. Shift weight from foot to foot. Rise onto your toes briefly. Turn your head from side to side. Progress to standing on one foot on the folded towel when comfortable. Flat, predictable surfaces like floors and sidewalks are actually not the norm in real environments. Grass, gravel, uneven pavement, soft soil, and thick rugs all create a surface that challenges the small, stabilizing muscles of the foot and ankle in ways that standing on a hard floor simply never does. When those small muscles are never challenged, they stop being ready for the moment when the surface is unexpectedly unstable. A folded towel creates just enough surface instability to wake those muscles back up without creating a fall risk. The constant micro adjustments your body makes while standing on the uneven surface retrain the proprioceptive system of the foot, essentially recalibrating the sensors in your feet and ankles so they send better, faster signals to your brain about what the ground is doing. This is sometimes called sensory reawakening, and the effect is real and measurable within just a few weeks. If you're finding this useful and starting to see how many simple tools exist for fall prevention that most people never hear about, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach other people who need this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and ring the notification bell. We're building a community of people who believe that staying strong and independent is worth working for at every age. Let's keep going, because the next 10 are where things get really interesting. Number 11. Farmer carry. Pick up a light dumbbell, water jug, or heavy bag in each hand. Stand tall, shoulders back, core slightly engaged. Walk slowly in a straight line for about 30 to 40 steps. Turn around and walk back. Repeat for 3 to 4 rounds. The farmer carry looks like a simple strength exercise, but its benefit for fall prevention goes well beyond muscle. Carrying weight through a walk demands that your entire trunk stays upright and stable against the load, pulling your arms down and your spine into a slouch. To resist that pull, every muscle along your spine, through your core, and across your shoulders has to work together. This coordinated trunk stability is one of the most important factors in walking safely. There's another connection worth knowing. Research has consistently found that grip strength is one of the most reliable predictors of fall risk and overall physical decline. Strong grip correlates with better balance, faster reflexes, and lower mortality. The farmer carry builds grip strength as a byproduct, not as the main goal, and it builds it in the most functional way possible, by holding under load during movement, exactly the way you'd carry groceries from the car or a bag up a flight of stairs. Start light. The weight isn't the point. The posture and the walk are. Number 12. Step down control drill. Stand on the bottom step of a staircase, holding the railing lightly. Slowly lower one foot toward the ground, keeping the other leg straight and stable. Lower until your toe just touches, then slowly raise it back up. The movement should take at least 3 full seconds going down. Do 10 to 15 slow repetitions on each leg. This exercise targets what is called eccentric muscle control. Eccentric control is the ability of a muscle to generate force while it's getting longer, essentially the ability to slow down and control a movement rather than just produce one. Descending stairs, sitting down into a chair, lowering into a squat, stepping off a curb, all of these movements require eccentric control of the quadriceps and glutes. When that control is poor, these movements become unsafe because the body drops rather than lowers. A disproportionate number of falls happen during descent, going downstairs, stepping off a platform, or lowering into a seat. Training eccentric control directly addresses this. The slow step-down drill is the single best exercise for building this specific capacity. 3 seconds down, controlled. Hold the railing as much as you need. Over time, you'll need it less, and descending anything will feel significantly more stable and safe. Number 13, seated to stand without hands. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, arms crossed over your chest. Without pushing off with your hands, lean forward slightly and stand up using only your legs. Sit back down slowly and under control. Do this 10 times every day. If you cannot do it without hands, try with fingertips only for assistance and work toward needing less help over time. This exercise is both training and a test. The ability to rise from a chair without using your arms is one of the clearest functional indicators of lower body strength and balance quality that exists. Research on aging and fall risk consistently finds that when this ability begins to deteriorate, overall fall risk climbs sharply. If getting out of a chair is already requiring significant arm assistance, that is not just an inconvenience. It is a signal that the muscles responsible for daily stability are weakening. The seated to stand movement trains the quadriceps, glutes, and core through a functional, full range of motion that directly transfers to every other standing and walking activity in your day. It also trains the hip hinge, the forward lean, and weight shift that initiates standing, which many people lose the coordination for without realizing it. Doing 10 of these per day is genuinely one of the most impactful things you can add to your routine for fall prevention. Number 14, crossbody marching stand or sit in a chair. Slowly lift your right knee while simultaneously reaching your left hand down toward that knee, lower both. Then lift your left knee while reaching your right hand toward it. Do this in a slow, deliberate rhythm for 1 to 2 minutes. Focus on the coordination between the two sides rather than on speed. Normal walking is a cross-body movement. The left arm swings forward as the right leg steps and vice versa. This coordination is controlled by communication between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, and it is actually a skill that can degrade with reduced activity and age. When cross-body coordination slips, walking becomes a less fluid, less stable process. The arm swing, which plays a real role in maintaining walking balance, becomes reduced or absent. Gait gets shorter and more shuffling. Cross-body marching directly stimulates and reinforces this brain hemisphere communication. It seems almost too simple, but the neural demand is real and the training effect is measurable. People who practice this consistently report feeling more coordinated and more fluid in their walking within just a few weeks. It can be done seated if standing is not yet comfortable, making it one of the most accessible exercises on this list for anyone just starting out. Number 15, neck mobility rotations. Sit or stand with good posture. Very slowly, turn your head to look as far over your right shoulder as you comfortably can. Hold for 2 seconds. Return to center. Rotate left. Hold, return. Then slowly tilt your right ear toward your right shoulder, hold, and repeat on the left. Do 5 repetitions in each direction, moving slowly and without forcing any position. The neck contains one of the densest concentrations of sensory receptors in the entire body. These receptors continuously send information about head position to the brain, contributing to the balance system in a way that most people completely underestimate. When the neck becomes stiff and restricted, as it commonly does with desk work, screen time, and reduced activity, the quality and accuracy of those signals degrades. The brain receives less reliable information about where the head is in space, and balance becomes subtly less stable. Beyond the sensory impact, poor neck mobility affects the ability to scan the environment safely while walking. Turning to look at traffic, glancing down at a step, looking over a shoulder to check surroundings. All of these require smooth, pain-free neck rotation. When the neck resists rotation, the whole upper body compensates by twisting at the waist, which destabilizes the gait. Slow, daily neck mobility work keeps these movements available, comfortable, and neurologically sharp. Number 16, toe spread activation. Take your shoes and socks off. Sit or stand on a flat surface. Actively try to spread all 10 toes as wide apart as possible. Hold the spread for 3 to 5 seconds. Relax completely. Repeat 10 to 15 times. Then try lifting just your big toe while keeping the other toes flat. Then try lifting just the 4 smaller toes while keeping the big toe flat. If you've spent your entire adult life in narrow shoes, there is a reasonable chance that you've never intentionally moved your toes in your life. Most people find this exercise nearly impossible at first. The individual toe movements in particular feel completely foreign to the nervous system because the pathways between brain and foot have never been trained. But those pathways matter enormously for balance. Your foot functions as a tripod when you stand. The heel, the base of the big toe, and the base of the little toe form the 3 contact points that distribute weight and create a stable base. When the toes are compressed together and unable to spread, that tripod base shrinks dramatically, and the foot becomes less able to grip the ground and make the tiny constant adjustments that keep you stable. Restoring active toe control widens the functional base of every step you take. It also reactivates the intrinsic foot muscles that have been switched off by shoes for decades. This is a slow process, but it is a real, and measurable one. Number 17, fast to slow walk transitions. Walk at your normal comfortable pace for about 10 steps. Then, without warning yourself, stop as quickly and smoothly as you can. Hold still for 2 seconds, then walk again. After another 5 to 10 steps, slow down dramatically to almost a creep, then speed back up. Vary the transitions randomly throughout a 2-minute walking session so that you can't anticipate when the change is coming. The ability to modulate your speed, especially to slow down or stop suddenly, is called braking control. It requires the same eccentric muscle strength discussed in the step-down drill, but now applied dynamically during movement. When braking control is poor, sudden stops become stumbles. The body carries forward momentum that the legs can't absorb fast enough, and the result is a lurch that can easily become a fall. Fast to slow walk transitions train the exact scenario where braking control is tested in real life. A car pulling out in front of you, a child running into your path, a wet patch on the floor, a sudden sound behind you that makes you stop. In all of these situations, your ability to quickly decelerate your own body is what keeps you upright. This exercise builds that capacity directly, and it does it in a way that is genuinely fun because of its unpredictable nature. Random transitions keep the nervous system engaged at a much higher level than predictable drills. Number 18, mini hops in place. Important note first, this exercise is only for people who are already comfortable with single leg balance and who feel stable during normal walking. If you have any significant joint pain or instability, skip to number 19 for now and return to this one later. For those who are ready, stand with feet hip-width apart and perform small, gentle bounces in place, barely leaving the ground, just enough to feel a light spring in the legs. Do 20 to 30 easy bounces, rest, and repeat twice. The tendons of your lower leg, particularly the Achilles tendon and the tendons around the ankle, function like springs during walking. Every step involves a brief loading of these tendons under body weight, followed by a recoil that adds energy to the next step. When tendon elasticity decreases, which it does with age and inactivity, walking becomes less efficient, more energy demanding, and subtly less stable because the elastic rebounding that contributes to gait rhythm is reduced. Mini hops stimulate tendon elasticity by applying and releasing load rapidly. The tendons adapt to this stimulus by becoming slightly stiffer in the elastic sense, meaning they store and return energy more effectively. Even very small hops produce this training effect without the joint stress of larger jumping movements. Just a light bounce. 30 repetitions. The tendons will respond. Over weeks, walking will feel more springy, more effortless, and more stable. For those who can do them, they are one of the most efficient exercises on this list. Number 19, floor rolling practice. Start by sitting on a firm but cushioned surface, like a yoga mat or carpet. From sitting, slowly lower yourself down onto your side. From lying on your side, roll onto your back. From your back, roll to the other side. From your side, push yourself back to sitting. Practice this sequence slowly, using your arms for guidance. Do 3 to 5 full cycles in each direction. Most fall prevention programs focus entirely on preventing falls from happening. This one prepares you for what to do if one happens anyway, and this distinction is critically important because research on fall outcomes consistently finds that many of the most serious injuries from falls come not from the fall itself, but from how the person lands, how they hit the ground, and whether they can get back up afterward. Floor rolling practice teaches 2 things. First, it teaches controlled landing mechanics. A body that is practiced at getting to the floor slowly and safely will tend to go down more safely in an uncontrolled situation because the nervous system has a rehearsed pattern to default to. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it teaches the skills of getting back up. Many people who fall and are not seriously injured are still unable to get back up without assistance, and the inability to get up can lead to hours on the floor, which has its own serious health consequences. Knowing how to roll, push, and rise from the ground is a skill that could genuinely save your life. Number 20, sit and reach. Toe lift coordination drill. Sit in a chair with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly reach forward with both arms as if reaching towards something on a table in front of you. At the same time, lift all 10 toes off the floor and hold them up. Hold this combination for 3 seconds. Return to the starting position and repeat 10 times. Then try it with just one foot, lifting at a time while you reach. This drill is not a stretch. It is not a strength exercise in the traditional sense. It is a coordination drill, and the coordination it trains is specific to one of the most common fall scenarios there is. Reaching forward while standing or walking disrupts the center of mass. The body weight shifts. The base of support has to compensate by recruiting the feet and ankles in a way that most people never deliberately train. Adding the toe lift simultaneously requires the brain to coordinate an upper body reaching movement with a lower body stabilization response at the same time. This dual task coordination is exactly what breaks down in real falls. Reaching for something on a shelf while walking, picking something up from a table while rising from a chair, extending toward a grandchild while standing. In each of these situations, the brain is asked to manage two physical tasks at once, and if it hasn't practiced doing so, the balance component gets deprioritized and the fall happens. The sit and reach toe lift builds this coordination safely and gradually. It is the exercise that ties together everything else on this list. By training the brain to stay in charge of balance, even when the hands and arms are busy doing something else. 20 exercises, 20 specific weaknesses that falls exploit, and 20 direct answers to each of them. Not one of these requires a gym, trainer, or any significant investment beyond a few minutes each day. What they do require is consistency, because balance and fall prevention are skills. And like every skill, they respond to practice, and they deteriorate without it. If you work through even half of this list with any regularity over the next month, you will feel a difference. Your feet will be more confident on uneven ground. Your ankles will move more freely. Your reactions will be faster. Stairs will feel more controlled going down. Getting up from a chair will feel easier. These are not small improvements. They are the daily experiences that determine whether the next decade feels independent or fragile. If you found this valuable, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach other people who need to hear this information. Drop a comment below and tell me which exercise surprised you most. Are you going to start with the toe lifts, the backward walking, the floor rolling? I read every single comment, and I'd love to know which one you're starting with tomorrow morning. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video, because your body is worth understanding, and the more you understand it, the less you have to fear it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.